Oh no, this is from our division rival slash cross
Yeah.
state rival right here, man. The Ravens and the Eagles. They are proposing new overtime options for when you win the coin toss. Now, the way the options have been thus far is simple. You either take the ball or you're kicking the ball off and you're going to defend whichever side you want to defend. That's typically the way the rules work. If you win the toss, you say I want the ball. This team gets to pick which direction, and vice versa. Now, with the Eagles and Ravens are both trying to do, or what they proposed is, if you win the toss, you have two options here. You can go with the traditional sudden death format. Like, think about how it used to be, right? First team to score wins, whether it's field goal or touchdown. First team wins. First team score wins. They want to either allow you to have that option or the option to completely eliminate the sudden death format and play it like how it is right now, where you get a chance to get the ball. All right, I'll get my chance, then we go from there. And they, lastly, the third part is they want to eliminate overtime completely in the preseason.
Sure.
Thoughts on that?
What's the deal with this spot and choose? Where does that come into play with those two?
In terms of what?
So here's the one part. I don't know if it's included with one of those and not the other, but so this is one of their rule proposals. One team would get a chance to select where to spot the ball at the start of the first overtime possession, and then the other team would have to pick whether to play offense or defense. Have you heard this?
I did hear that as
so
well. Yeah.
Where do you know if it's for either or of those or both?
It should. I think that is with the first one.
The sudden death.
Yeah, the sudden death part of it. Yeah, where they're able to pick where it's at and things like that.
And then sudden death.
Because they mixed both, because the rules like they relate to each other, so they mix them in there together. It's like a jumbo thing.
I know, because they had two separate proposals. I was getting really confused with this. I think this spot and choose thing might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yes. You see, I didn't even want to include it, right? I was like, I don't even. Go ahead.
I'm being serious. People are trying to say this thing's so innovative and stuff, but based off this example right here, Ravens could spot the ball at the 10-yard line. Then their opponent would have to pick whether it wants to start on offense from its own 10 or play defense. Why wouldn't you set it on the 1-yard line every time?
Right.
What's stopping you from doing that?
Seriously, hey, you win the toss, I want it on the 1.
Hey, do you want to defend the other team about to score on you from the 1, or do you want to play the whole 99-yard field on offense? You just put them in the worst spot ever. There's a huge loophole to this. I don't know where the innovation is, unless you put parameters where it's like probably like the minimum number is the 10-yard line or the 20-yard line, but still you would just put it at that yard line every time. Yeah,
absolutely. So
and then I don't like the sudden death element of it, because whoever gets the ball first, if you just score a field goal, it's going backwards almost.
Right, but this is my thing, right? So I will put it like this. I don't mind the sudden death element, because I already told you I'm a big believer in, hey, it's 3 phases: special teams and defense. So even though you kick the ball up, they might say, all right, touchback. That team gets in field goal range. If they want to settle for a field goal kick, we have a field goal block unit. You have specific field goal block techniques that you use for things like this. Depending on where it's at on the field, that's going to dictate what type of technique you're using, which personnel you're going to use out there. I'm a big believer in that. I'm a big believer in, hey, if we lost the toss and we're on defense, Joe Hayden didn't get a pick 6 a year ago versus RG3 in the Baltimore Ravens. We ain't see that. Minka Fitzpatrick did a run back a pick 6 against the Cleveland Browns earlier this year. We act like defense can't score. We act like defense can't create turnovers. Who says that's not a rule?
You're putting a lot on the defense.
No, you're putting a lot on the offense.
No, I'm saying you in general. Yeah, this is the whole chip on the shoulder thing.
This is my thing. You go sudden death offense, right? Sudden death. And your offense come out there and go 3 and out. What did you just do? You put your defense in the worst position ever. You know what I mean? Like they didn't get no rest, and they're going to have a short field that they're going to have to defend. So to me, I look at it the other way. You look at it like, oh man, sucks for you defenders. I'm like, nah, you offensive guys? It's a lot of guys out there that's going to get real janky and real shaky in those moments. You think about this, the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears named Andy Dalton as their starting quarterback. You don't think we wouldn't like to see that?
Well, we did it the one time against the Ravens in 2019. We kicked off.
It went 3 and out, got the ball back, and it was working. We know what happened, but it was working.
It actually worked perfectly.
Yeah, it was offense. It wasn't defense, it was offense. So that's why for me,
we were almost in field goal range.
I'm fine with it. I'm cool with it. If you want to go there, we could go there.
I don't like it because it's going backwards. I get what you're saying though, and I don't think there was anything that wrong with the whole sudden death of once you just get some points on the board, the game's over. But it was it the 2010 season, 2011, where Brett Favre didn't get the chance to score. I like that. I just want to see a little bit of a back and forth. So If anything, I just want them. I think the overtime rules are fine. I just want them to make it so if the first team that gets the ball scores a touchdown, the other team gets a chance to score the touchdown.
Yeah, I would.
That's it.
That would be awesome. Yes, I do
Because
agree
if you
with that.
score the
Yes.
touchdown, you're the first team to get the ball. It's over.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I said just make it equal. That's not sudden. What would you even call that? That's like a nice back and forth, I guess you could say.
But I guess the
It's
problem,
fair,
but the problem becomes if the other team scores, now we have to get them the ball back, and now you get into this collegiate overtime style.
Yeah.
That's the other end, and the biggest reason why, and for the people that aren't aware of it, the reason why the NFL doesn't like that style is just because the rosters are smaller and physically it's a lot more demanding than college-wise. College, you got another 40, 50 people on your roster, so they're not having to play offense plus special teams, defense plus special teams. They're not having to play 100 snaps. You know what I mean? They're playing, it's a certain amount, and they have depth. So you can have these kids out here playing, a 4-hour game because it's the greatest overtime game ever. 70-71. We loved it. 30 overtimes. You can do that in college because you got another wave of kids. It's you can start too. You're a 5-star. Oh, you can start too. At the NFL level, you don't have that many people. At the NFL level, you think about just the fullback, for example. That fullback gonna be out here on offense. He out here on every 4 special teams. And shoot, some of these guys might even step over there and play defense. You think about the Patriots, the Dolphins. They use, what's the kid? Roberts, the linebacker. I forgot his first name. But yeah, he plays on all 3 phases. So you just thinking to yourself, like, the more these guys are out there, the larger the injury risk becomes.
Well, how about just for the playoffs then?
I would be fine with the playoffs.
Regular season, you could keep it how it is, but for the playoffs.
But it could suck though. Imagine you have that type of shootout in the wild card round.
I don't know. That could be epic though, because there's something that doesn't sit right with college football at the 25s. Right? So, but if you play in the full field and you go back and forth, touchdown for touchdown, I mean that's epic.
So it would be epic, but imagine this, right? Steelers are having this epic overtime thriller against the Ravens in the wild card round. We end up going to 6 overtimes, something crazy, never been seen before, right? Think about these college overtimes, right? Are they ever just one? But never just 2. You said epic yourself.
You see some of these NFL overtimes though. No one wants to score. It seems like it's different.
But think about even with no one wanting to score, that still means we still gonna be playing, right? So my thing is this, right? We go into this epic overtime thriller, and it's overtime, right? So we just gonna keep going back and forth, back and forth. Lamar's lighting it up, but 7 is on. You know when 7 gets on. 7 is having one of them days.
9 touchdowns.
One of them days. Yeah. With overtime, he'll be the first one to do it. Think about that.
Yeah.
So it benefits him, right? So you got this scenario going on. We get up out of that thing. We win. But now we got to go play again next week, and our bodies all jacked up, beat up, because there's only, 55 of us on this roster that had to go in this war. And now we got to come in here and play this other team that, they won in regulation. They was chilling. They ain't play a whole game and a half. That's a competitive advantage, bro.
It's tough, but if we won because of those rules, I'm good with it. I don't care. We have another week to survive as opposed to us losing because of the Ravens scoring a touchdown right off the bat, and we don't have a chance to go down with Big Ben in the offense.
If we could find a way to just contain the back and forth, I think or even if
wasn't one of these they make it 7 minutes, 7.5 minutes, and then just final score.
Yeah. That's but then if you're in a tie though, we can't have that.
And we'll just go to the next overtime. But then it would be 15 minutes. It's already what we're dealing with right now in one quarter of overtime.
For me, I would like it if it was you get your chance, you go out there and score. Okay, cool. I get my chance, I go out there and score. Then after that, sudden death.
Okay.
After that, man, you do what you do.
That's the best of both.
Yeah. We'll see.
I would like the touchdown for touchdown shootout.
It would be nuts though.
That's how you play in the backyard.
It is. But that'd be a lot though.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but I mean that's a rare occurrence. It is. If we win that fashion, I'm good with it, dude.
It is. I mean, how often would it happen? Sure. But when it does happen and it does benefit us, we're gonna feel some type of way. We will feel some type of way.
If we lose the next round,
yes,
that's one of the hot topics.
And we're coming in here banged up going into the game. Ben's arm a little. He iced it all week. He walking around with it in the shirt. We got Meek over here icing his Achilles. You got TJ dealing with a knee. We'll be hot. We'll be really hot about that.
I don't think I would. I don't think I would. I'd say just win it in regulation. That's what we had to deal with. That's our own fault. All right, but I'm good with the dub.
I can respect it there. I can respect it.